I want to welcome you to another monthly webinar here for the membership of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. This is presented by Jerry Eisenhower this month with CVC Success Group. And today, the question I'd like you to answer for me is, are you good or are you just good enough? Are you good or are you just good enough? And what I mean by that, are you phenomenal in what you do? Do you truly measure up to your customer promise and your customer commitment? And is your customer promise to be good, or is your customer promise a commitment to be just good enough? How do you operate? Now, as I ask this question of you, it's been a very busy week for me. Did some travel this week, visited with three different clients at three different locations, did a swap meeting at one location with the entire team, and then finished up my week by attending a conference called the Ultimate Business Summit. And this is something that Cheryl and I have attended for quite a few years now. And we've been members of an intergrouping coach, an intensive coaching group there. And we've had regular contact with three of our coaches and mentors, who are Larry Winget, Randy Pennington, and Scott McCain. So each and every year they have what they call the Ultimate Business Summit. And usually this is presented live in Las Vegas, but because of current conditions where travel and gathering as large groups is really an issue, this year they moved to a virtual format. And it was fantastic. It was actually better than attending the conference in person. Yeah, there was less opportunity to network with other people. There was no talking with other people outside the halls during that period. But at the same time, we were able to gather a tremendous amount of ideas and concepts to put to work in our business. As I looked across the room, because everybody that was participating was on the screen, I saw other members of the industry sitting in this conference. So, everyone that attended this Ultimate Business Summit, I hope that you likewise got value out of this. But as I was sitting through here, the thought process came to me this week. Are you good or are you just good enough? Because I've actually heard business owners say that. That's actually a quote from someone. Well, Jerry, we're not really good, but we're good enough. Is that the way your business approaches it, that you're just good enough? Or do you make a decision that you're going to be really good, that you're going to be phenomenal, that you're going to be fantastic? Because as I look at advertising, marketing, and what people say, you really don't see businesses marketing saying, hey, you know, we're not really good, but we're good enough. We're good enough. So as I thought back through this conference I attended the last few days, and I listened to some phenomenal people there. One of them was a gentleman by the name of Simon Bailey. Now, Simon Bailey has a background with Disney, and he's a public speaker and carries a message forth. But here was what Simon said about Disney. Disney doesn't try to be miles ahead and miles better. Disney tries to be an inch better, just an inch better. And then they add the inches up. So think about that for a minute. If you could make a decision to be just an inch better at the various factors, the products, the services that you offer, and your customer service, where could your business go? Where could you go? And another fantastic speaker, first time I ever heard him speak either, was a gentleman by the name of Joe Calloway. And the thing that Joe talks about, and he's written a book on this, is how to become a category of one. A category of one. And to me, the category of one that he's talking about is the person who is the authority in their marketplace, who goes to the highest level, who presents the best customer service. They're in a category separate from anyone else. Is that your business? And then another person that spoke that had some great words was a lady by the name of Lisa Ford. Lisa Ford. And what did Lisa talk about? She talked about doing the little things in business that takes you ahead by gigantic strokes, make significant strides. The little things, the little things. What are the little things that your customer wants? What's the little things that your customer desires? Think about it for just a minute. Here's another question for you. Why does your customer call you? Does your customer call you because of your website? Does your customer call you because of your social media outreach? Does your customer call you because of your videos that you do? What is it that you do that makes your customer call you? What establishes you as the authority in your marketplace on what you do? And I think that if we look at this, it's going to be back to the things that Simon talked about. It's the inches where we provide just a little bit more. It might be the way our telephones answered and where we answer everyone in a friendly manner. Because when people call you, you've got to remember, they probably have a problem. They're looking for a resolution. They're looking for someone that can help them eradicate the pain that they're going through. But what makes them settle on you? What is the extra inches that you do that brings attention to you and your business in your marketplace? And what are you doing to get better? What do you do to get better? As Scott McKain was just sharing on his Daily Distinction podcast that went out just a few minutes ago, would you go to a doctor that's not done any training in years, that he graduated in 1980 or 1985, and he's really not kept current with changes, with different medicines, with different ways to resolve disease, with different ways to help us with the pain that we may go through in our body? Maybe it's a muscle pull, maybe it's an issue with a broken bone, whatever. But you don't want somebody that's just good enough. When you've got somebody that you're looking at to look after you, you want somebody that's really good. You want somebody that's an authority in the marketplace. You don't want to just turn your body over to just anybody. What do you want? You want the best. You want that person to not be just good enough. You want that person to be the authority, to be the expert, the one that can take care of your pains. So take a good look in the mirror. Are you truly good? Are you truly fantastic at what you do? Is the work you're producing of the highest level? Or is the work you're producing, is it just good enough? And if it's just good enough, what are you doing to become great? What's your goals on how you're going to ascend, to move to a higher level, to be that phenomenal business that I'll bet you your marketing is saying that you're providing, to be that fantastic offer of products and services that solves your customers' pains, that helps them to deliver, to get what they're looking for in this world. So that's the question for you this week. Are you good? Are you just good enough? Are you phenomenal? Are you fantastic? If you were the customer, how would you gauge your customer service? How would you gauge how you deliver to your customers? You see, that's one of the things about going to a higher level. That's one of the things about delivering at the highest level is a person has to take those hard looks at themselves, those hard looks in the mirror. Because you see, that's where your competition is. Your competition isn't the guy down the road. The competition isn't someone else in the same business as you are. The competition that we so often face We can see them every time we look in the mirror. So don't let any of your weaknesses, if you have weaknesses, figure out a path and a way to get past them. Do that. Don't be determined to just be good enough. Be determined to be good, to be fantastic, to be phenomenal. Set your sights on where you're going to go. Establish your short-term goals that'll get you there. What's described in the book Traction as rocks, based after the Rockefeller principles. You know where you want to go in life. To get there, you got to follow the path. You got to get your GPS constructed. And once you do that, there's going to come a time that you're going to be on top of that mountain. And the view that you're going to see is going to be the view that you dreamed of having your entire life. Think about it. Make it where you're good, where you don't go through life just being good enough. This is Jerry Eisenhower with CVC Success Group. Appreciate you joining me today. If we can help you out, get in touch with us here at CVC Success Group. It's easy as an email to info@cvcsuccessgroup.com. Let's have a conversation. Appreciate you joining me. Talk to you next month on the next NCSG monthly webinar. Have a great week.